and good afternoon. Now, this is a press conference. The rally was held earlier today, I understand. Thank God for citizens doing their wonderful, responsible thing. Okay. So, good afternoon. I'm Ken Dunkin. I'm the state representative. I represent the 5th Representative District from Division and LaSalle all the way to Michigan Avenue to 79th Street and Paxton, east of Jeffrey, literally from the Gold Coast to the Soul Coast. So today, the governor delivered his State of the State address, and in spite of what he said, the people of Illinois know the reality, that the state is broken and it needs to be fixed. And partisan politics will not help us fix it. And while I'm encouraged that there seems to be some progress between the Senate president as well as the governor, we still have a long way to go in our very own House of Representatives as we wait on Speaker Michael J. Madigan to decide on when he will stop holding the citizens of Illinois hostage to his political maneuvering and his political shenanigans and actually get business done. It seems as if everyone wants a solution except one person. One person. The Senate president and the governor are talking. Speaker Michael J. Madigan is not talking. He's the big impasse at this point because he's ignoring to connect and meet with the governor. So, everyday constituents who come to my office asking, what are we doing? What's the plan? They deserve to know. They deserve to know that we don't need to be merely voting on legislation that impacts special interests, which is about 7% of the people, while the rest of the state continues to slide off of the fiscal cliff. It's as though we're living in an alternative reality, a bizarre world of sorts, if you will, where we hope that if we continue to ignore the crisis, that it'll go away. And you know as well as I do, it won't. Well, guess what? This mess is not going to go away. And if the only thing that we're doing is saying no to the governor's plan while providing no alternatives, no plan of our own, then we are being just as irresponsible. We're not holding true to the oath of office that we took to act in the best interests of the citizens of this great state of Illinois. I'm calling on all of my Democratic House members, all of my colleagues, to get together in a room and draft our own budget that reflects the true ideas and values of the Democratic Party and the state of Illinois. Let's lock ourselves in a room. Let's bring our soap. We can bring our water. We can take a shower in the speaker's private suite, in his private bathroom. I'm ready with our water, with our soap, with my sleeping bag, with my backpack to stay until we get the job done. Things are not perfect for all of the citizens, but one thing that is common is that everybody is hurting. Literally from those who are suffering with homemaker services that need to be delivered to our seniors, to the developmentally disabled, to the individuals who need child care assistance right now, to those students who, for no fault of their own, are struggling, along with their families, to go back to school because they're not in there now. They have to leave because there's no monetary award monies. There's no MAP. The colleges and universities that we fund with your public dollars, they haven't received them. That's a major issue. So I don't want to come down here just to listen to a speech or to talk about the problems. We're all here right now. Those of us in the House, those of us in the Senate, those of us Democrats, those of us who are Republican. Again, the president of the Senate, the governor, have come up with some form of agreement. They're at least communicating and talking. One person, one man who has continued a political shenanigan or sort of process of what it is that he thinks will be effective during election time is not working. He's the only one that's outside of the room that doesn't want to talk, that wants to play this waiting game at the expense of all of the citizens across the state. And I say enough. Thank you.
Representative, are you taking questions?
Yes.
I hope that doesn't count against my questions. You have like a shaving kit, and I'm wondering if you could explain your other
items.
Props. Yeah.
Well, these are not props. This is real water. This is real soap. It's a real backpack. This is a real sleeping bag. This is a real backpack with items here that'll sustain me for as long as it takes to at least start talking with our colleagues, our Democratic colleagues. We know we stand strong with working families across this state. We want to make sure that businesses get an opportunity to stay open and active and recruit business so people can get off of subsidies. Like I grew up on public welfare. I had a place to go to work growing up in Cabrini Green. Businesses were there, small business, medium businesses. What are we doing? Why are we going home? Are we still waiting on Mike Madigan in the House of Representatives? He's the only one that has not connected or met with the governor. And that's supposed to be all of our problem. And we rank and file members, the rest of the 117 of us, sit there and just say, okay, Mr. Speaker, we know you haven't articulated a plan. We know there is no alternative or option outside of the governor's plan. We know we're supposed to just say no to whatever he says. But what is our plan? We have not stopped taxing the citizens of Illinois at the sales register. We have not stopped taxing folk at the income level, at the fee level, but we've stopped doing our job. We should not hold citizens in this state hostage to Mike Madigan's political shenanigans.
Speaker Madigan said today that he does not have a supermajority. Are you the reason he doesn't?
I want to be a part of a solution. I am so past this partisan politics that it's pathetic. Give me a plan, another option outside of the governor's, other than saying no to the governor. What is the next move? What's the plan? To get the homemakers back in and servicing our senior citizens who need the services? What's the plan in terms of funding these public schools? Chicago is in a calamitous situation. And it is a travesty, it would be a travesty for us to allow the Chicago public school system to close, for teachers to walk out of the classrooms. It's an equally horrific experience to live in some of these violent communities where we know that kids and parents are suffering and under siege. And all we have to do is fund after-school programs. All we have to do is come up with job training dollars, and that's going to impact young folk, older folk who may be going through a job transition or career transition. But Mike Madigan is the only person who is not in the room today. And because so many of my colleagues, upstate, downstate, city of Chicago, suburban, Collier County, Democrats, are afraid to take him on and challenge him and tell him to come up with a solution that includes all of us instead of being dictated to. That's what I'm just fed up with. But again, I am prepared to stay here with my backpack, with my sleeping bag, to stay here, lock the doors for as long as we need to. We can shower in Mike Madigan's private bathroom and shower that the citizens pay for and get some work done. I'm prepared to stay.
Representative, I'm trying to unthink that last thing you just said, but nevertheless, we're hearing a lot about who's aligned with whom and what the cohesion is. And, oh, Representative Duncan's with the governor. Oh, Representative Duncan's not with Mike Madigan. Oh. You know, it's a big place with a lot of people going on. My question is, where does Ken Duncan fit into all this in the present and future?
I sit in this, I fit in this, I'm about this, about the people before politics. People in Danville, Illinois, in Rockville, Illinois, in Chicago, people who are struggling, people who don't have the access to come to Springfield or to hire a lobbyist, they can care less who's a Democrat or who's a Republican. People in this state want a budget. This is not about me. This is about the citizens getting what we're supposed to deliver to them. So I'm for the people. And whatever we need to do to get a budget done is what I stand for, is what I believe in. And I'm not going away until we come up with some resolution that puts people before politics, not party. So I work for the citizens in the 5th District. I don't work for the governor. I don't work for Mike Madigan. I work for the citizens in the state of Illinois who I took the oath of office to do my job and to deliver those services. I'm a product of some of the greatest social service programs here in this state. I'm a product of the great institutions in the schools here, of the job opportunity. I benefited from the great museums, from after-school programs, from summer jobs. I am 100% in this for the people.
Representative Duncan, Mays Jackson from the Chicago Defender. Representative Duncan, so how does this play out for you? It seems as though you are trying to choose the people, but politics rules Illinois. So are you being punished? How does this work? Because I'm just curious to know, are they going to punish you for this?
You know, the short answer for that is the special interest under the direction of Speaker Madigan has been all out against me because I'm off of the political plantation of the Democratic Party here in the state of Illinois. And that's a new paradigm shift for many Democrats. There's nowhere in the world that we should be having political conversations over the people in the state of Illinois. That's the only reason we don't have a state budget.
Are you suggesting that the rest of the Black Caucus is on the political plantation?
Well,
of the state of Illinois?
I am not speaking on behalf of the Black Caucus.
And, but what
I'm
about
saying,
at this big press conference earlier, they were pretty much aligned with the speaker's program.
well, the question for any member, whether they're black, white, or brown, what's our plan to negotiate with each other as members? The Senate president is talking to the governor. Why isn't he talking to the governor? Other part of it is we're all duly elected in our respective districts, just like the speaker is. We have ideas. There are a tremendous amount of intelligent people here in this state who are in the General Assembly. We can figure things out. We know how to balance a checkbook. We know how to craft together a solid program. Community members out there who are smarter than us, or just as smart as us at the very least, can come up with solutions that impact citizens across the state. So I don't speak for the Black Caucus. I'm speaking on as a Democratic member of the House Caucus under this dome in Springfield, where we have not been doing our job except waiting on Michael J. Madigan to stop playing his political games at the expense of the citizens, all the citizens in this state of Illinois.
Kenny, have you been thinking about jumping to the Republican Party and crossing the aisle?
That has absolutely nothing to do with anything.
So what's the
As an independent thinking elected official who happens to be a Democrat, I want to jump to the party that's going to make the most sense, and that's the people of the state of Illinois. So I'm a Democrat. I just happen to be able to think on my own as an independent.
But do you think, given saying what you're saying today and the votes you've taken recently against Speaker Madigan, that you could remain in the Democratic Party and be viable?
Let me say this here. The votes that I've taken or not taken has nothing to do with Michael Madigan. Number one. The second thing is talking with the governor to release the child care services money, the developmentally disabled monies, as well as senior citizens who need home care services. It has nothing to do with the Democrat or Republican anything. That has nothing to do with resolving the budgetary crisis here in this state. My question is, there are 117 of us in the room. There are 71 Democrats, but yet we're sitting there with no plan, no solution. We're waiting on one person to do it for us. Shame on us. So when it comes to helping the kids not have their doors shut in the city of Chicago or across this state, or to keep these nursing homes open or these hospitals open, or making sure there's salt on the roads and other areas of government that we take for granted, that's the party that I'm with. People over politics.
Last
Well,
question.
Representative Duncan, you used the word plantation, and I hesitate to even say that word in this question. I mean, look at me. I mean,
Do I have to?
no, you don't.
Thank you.
That is a charged-up word. I mean, that's a dog whistle, and you know it. What do you mean by that when you say plantation?
Well, listen. I want you to think about this for a minute. Here it is. You have 71 Democrats in the House of Representatives, 41 in the Senate. And here it is. We can't come up with forcing the speaker to come up with a plan or come up with our own plan. And I'm not disrespecting my members. The fact is, this is month 7. And we're waiting on Speaker Madigan to move. We don't do anything else unless he moves. That's a plantation mentality to me. That's why I said, listen, if I can talk to this governor and convince him to release money for child care services, homemaker services, senior citizens, as well as the developmentally disabled, that's a win for the people. So with all this great intelligentsia of state representatives and state senators, we have to make sure that we are sitting in the room together collectively, maybe locked in the room, and try to figure this thing out. That's it. So it's, that word is offensive, but what's even more atrocious is us not having a state budget and disrespecting every single citizen here who gets up and go to work and they do their job, unlike some of us down here. So I'm all about the people getting what they're supposed to get and what I took the oath of office for. And anyone else who is not a part of that situation and just listening to one man, Michael J. Madigan, I have a problem with that. So it's not about a Republican or Democrat or the governor. It's about what in the world, what in the hell it is that we need to do to get our act together to pass a state budget. And the first thing you do is to start communicating with each other and start talking. And if you don't like the governor's plan, let's come up with our own plan. Thank you all.
Next representative, Happy Camper.
You're welcome.
Where you
Got this.
camping out at? Can I get a sleeping bag?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let me go tell them.
Yes.
We had over 200